Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for deciding to spend your time with Flourishing Hub. As usual, Flourishing Hub is a show centered around empowering young people, even the middle age. With three discussions we have here on several topics, from planning, real estate, money matters, daring, mentorship, to mention but a few. So just always tune in from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. To catch these interesting conversations, and we hope that they can impact you in one way or the other to become a flourishing person and also transform Africa. And today we are having our guest who we all appreciate so much. We thank you for always taking your time, Herbert, to be with us, to speak to the youth, and just your contribution in the transformation that we hope Africa can have. Please just say something to the viewers.
Thank you, Doreen. Good evening, viewers. I'm always happy to be here at Church of Uganda Family TV and Flourishing Hub, and thank you for hosting me once again. I'm glad to be here.
Well, thank you for always honoring our invite. Now, Herbert, in your book, Flourishing Hub, he is an author. He just tried to be modest with his introduction, but he is an author. He's currently writing a book on real estate,
yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And that one is still in progress. You did mention it's about 60% done.
Yeah.
We are still demanding
Maybe
the
now
40%.
61%.
Yes, thank you. Thank
yes,
you.
I did something.
Now we're demanding 39%.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and but before then, he also released a book called Young and Flourishing. Now, in your book, Young and Flourishing, you did talk. You have a chapter on daring.
Yes.
It talks in depth about all the different dares you've had to do with your life.
Yes.
To just thrive and just achieve what seemed impossible to you at that time. What has been your journey like? How is it for you? Those moments when you decide to put both your feet in, yeah? No gamba, you know what? If
I die, I die.
If I die, I die. I'm doing this. I'm daring. How has your experience been? How has your journey been?
Well, from childhood, I think I've dared a lot, and maybe if I was speak how I've dared,
Yes.
then the cows would come back home. I would take a lot of time, the shortest time of 1 hour of discussion. But let me pick a few. While I was in primary 6, I used to go to a school called Kakumo Primary School in Ndorwa West, and I would meet some young girl and a young boy. They were brother and sister going to a primary school called Chikonjiri Primary School. They would speak very good English. They would construct a sentence. In my primary 6, I was not constructing any sentence in English. So I felt in my heart that I should go to that school where they used to go, and that is Chikonjiri Primary School. So in a holiday, and that is a holiday in December, I went to Chikonjiri Primary School and I met the headmaster and told him my desire. I told him frankly that I am coming here because I want to learn how to speak English, but also I want to be better in the future. So, and I know that Chikonjiri Primary School will make sure that I meet my desire to learn English and also to go to better secondary schools. So I told him frankly, and he told me, he asked me whether my parents are aware. I said, Ma'am, I will tell them, but they are not aware. No, actually, he asked me, why didn't you come with your parents? I said, this is my personal desire. It's not my father's desire.
Such a go-getter from a young age, yeah?
Yes. And he was shocked and surprised, and he gave me the admission. And he warned me that at the end of the first term, if you don't reach the pass mark, we shall demote you to primary 6. I was ready to go back to primary 6, so long as I can get quality education. So I was given admission, and when the terms began, my parents thought that I was going to Kakomo Primary School, yet I was going to Chukunjiri Primary School. That is 13 kilometers from where I used to stay in Kasinde. So I would wake up at 5 a.m. and by 5:30 I ran over the hills and I go to Chukunjiri Primary School, 13 kilometers. So every day I would walk 26 kilometers. Now, little did I know that these guys were going to ask me for school fees, and I had no single coin, Doreen. So time came for school fees, they asked me school fees, and that's when it came to me that I should have told my parents. So, and you know, mothers have soft hearts, so I had to first tell my secret to my grandmother, whom I call my mother. May her soul rest in eternal peace. I told her what I had done, and of course he said, "You are completely finished."
Wow!
You are completely finished. Now, then later he told Mzee, and Mzee said something that I will never forget. Of course, she told him in the bedroom, but my ear was on the door of their bed, the door of entering to their bedroom. So I overheard her tell him the story, and he said, "Oh, wow, this boy is going to be a great man in the future." So parents, they are out there, you need to speak blessings. I think I am where I am because of that word.
And they did tell it to you. They said it in Kamoli.
Yes. Yeah, this man is going to be a great man in the future. How could he make such a decision? So that's the first episode where I've dared. And of course, you know, he was a priest in Church of Uganda, and unfortunately, the priest those ends in the rural areas, even up to now, their income is limited, is very low. So we used to go with the cheats, and these cheats allow him, please allow him, allow him to do exams, allow him. I feel up to now, I feel bad to you church leaders and especially decision makers. I feel bad for someone who serves God, who owns gold and silver, to be in need. Of course, they used to tell us that for us we are working for heaven and what, but we are serving God. And I know there is a lot in Church of Uganda we can do together to make sure that the church ministers and their children are flourishing, are prospering. This is a topic for another day. Yeah, so they used to allow us to write a cheat. Please allow him. So I went with the cheat, and the headmaster, of course, I accepted. And at the end of the first term, Doreen, I survived the panga. They call it choro.
Hi, choro. Wakabazi.
Yeah. So I survived, and surprisingly, some of the pupils I found who had even been promoted from the same school were demoted, but me with no English, I passed above the pass mark, and I survived that panga.
Wow.
So I have dared.
I hear a lot of ambition. You know, you are quite an ambitious young man.
Yeah,
you are also very determined. Yes. I mean, just imagine, just like in P6, when I think of what I was doing in P6, I was definitely not walking to a headmaster's office and saying I want to be in your school, because of, you know, I don't think I was that courageous. Probably I did in other areas. So that was quite a phenomenal view. And how has that impacted you now, you know, the life you're living now, because of that kind of
anything I feel like I should start, I start. I
actually know that about you.
Yes, everything. I feel like I should start, whether it jams or what, I start. Nichitandika nichikora.
Standing. But now, Herbert.
Yes.
You see, many young people out there, some feel like, especially especially going back after this lockdown we had for over 2 years, students who are seated at home, many of them ended up doing, different hustles, different side businesses, to make money. And that culture didn't die, So now schools started, they went back to school, and they feel like, you know what, I can still make my money. Yeah. Personally, I have a brother who was involved in something like that. So they feel the need, you know what, I can buy something out of school, come here and sell it, probably even, price it higher, because of course they want to utilize scarcity. So they are daring. They are daring. But is it the right time to dare? Is it, what would you tell such a young person out there? Because I know there are many, even when I'm still studying. Value, they were there. So what do you tell young people out there who feel like, even in school, you can still do these side businesses, and they have justifiable reasons. Some are using that to take care of their tuition, some to get pocket money, it's business to survive. What would you tell such a young person?
Yeah, it's good they are doing what they are doing, because why you are studying is to make money. But let me tell you, young people, it's good you are in holidays. The Bible says that there is always time for everything. You can think of making money right now, but what is your fallback position? If making money now might make you not go far in your studies, because you can be tricked that now I earn 20,000, I earn 30,000, I earn 500,000, but let me tell you, you can earn that money in the future after you have a fallback position. If I didn't, of course, even me, Doreen, when I was growing up, I used to do side hustles and businesses, and but I continued studying. And if I had not studied, the opportunities that I have now, even the networking, even coming here to Church of Uganda Family TV, I wouldn't have got it if I had not continued studying. So education, however much they say that our education is not up to the standard, actually Uganda's education is okay, so long as you because they can give you 15%, the rest of the percentage, it is you to hustle and get knowledge out from the informal education. So I request that if you are in secondary school and you are doing some businesses, yes, but if it comes to studies, please concentrate on your books, because you don't know what will happen next. Maybe that career could help you, could take you somewhere. Maybe those books you are not liking as per now, they could be the fallback position for you to even do much more businesses. I'm into consultancy and I'm into establishing many businesses, because at least I studied and went to the great university, Makerere University Business School. And
Yes,
if it was not the books, if it was not because of the education, maybe I wouldn't have gotten such a kind of knowledge and skills. So to answer them is that there is time for everything.
So they first study.
They should first study.
Pause business.
Pause business, maybe for their in vacation, like the way I was doing business in vacation. If they're in vacation, then they can do business. Yeah.
My father usually says that books are jealous. Books are jealous. If you mix books with anything else, now if you decide to mix your books with, selling pancakes and, doing business at school, that business may overpower your concentration over your books.
That's true. Actually, it's not only books that are jealous. It is everything that you have divided attention, including if you have a wife or a girlfriend and you have an undivided attention, you will face it rough. So focus is very important in life. Actually, to flourish, maybe you can quote me that to flourish you need to focus. At flourish you need to put in many hours. There is this book I was reading recently, I've forgotten the title, but the author advises us to put 10,000 hours to be expert in something. You need to put in 10,000 hours. So not only books, please, if you want to focus, you focus on. And even the Bible says that you should not be neither cold nor warm. Don't be lukewarm. So focus is very, very important. Let me tell you another.
Let's just. So since you have many daring moments, and we want to hear them. So for those joining us right now, this is Flourishing Hub. This is a show centered around empowering young people, with different ideas that can help them flourish, be the best version of themselves. And we do this through discussions. We invite different guests to discuss different topics on, a variety. You can actually decide. You can go on our Twitter handles, Young and Flourishing. Let us know what particular topics are you interested in, so that we get experts on board and discuss, and you just learn. So this show is just really here to empower you, to teach you. Always tune in Monday, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Yes, Herbert. So we were talking about daring, and he has just told us how at P6 he went to a headmaster's office after hearing some people speaking American English from, Chikunjili primary school. He's like, I must,
Exactly.
So he really dared and went to the headmaster, said, you know what, I want a position here at P6 here, at P6. You can imagine that kind of level of dare. What other dares have you done? Tell me the most.
I was grazing with my young cousin, and he had climbed a tree. Unfortunately, the branch fell off, and he fell down, and that tree cut him. The branch cut him on the stomach, and it opened. And I
What?
so
proceed.
So what I did, I don't know. There was that particular tree that has that thing. The past called the amasos in our Chiga amasos. It is like a gum. So I got those masos, and I put it on the opening.
Wow.
And I kept on pressing it like this, and the body actually went back to
saved the life. Well done.
The stomach went back to normal, and up to now actually there is that big scar. And young people, children, I think it was a mistake. We even never told our parents. And the guy got healed. Oh, wow. So I have been a surgeon. I dared to be a surgeon.
All you don't have is the degree, but the experience.
It's the experience.
You got it.
That was, I think I was 12 or 13 years.
Wow.
When I did that. So I am there.
Now I know. I'm a friend, I'm a friend to a surgeon. Anytime now.
Exactly.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes. That is important. I think it's very important for us to go out of our way to do, to dare. You just never know. You may save a life like our friend here. Yeah. But what do you say to a young person out there who is hopeless? Who feels like, for example, your situation about not being in a school that is not teaching good English. You're in P6, you can hardly make a sentence. So you could have felt like, you know what, I don't know what's in for me. How is my future looking like? So there's someone out there who may be in a hopeless situation like that, but maybe they don't know how to go about it. And maybe they don't even have the opportunity, or they're not as determined and ambitious as you. They're just in a hopeless situation.
Recently, I was in a certain function, and someone said that the youth are the leaders of our church tomorrow. So I hate that word, and immediately I corrected and I said, no, the youth are leaders today. And I keep saying that you are no longer leaders of tomorrow, you are leaders of today. So it's up to you to get your mat and start walking. Get your mat and start walking. No one is going to get that mat for you. So if you are out there and you seem in a hopeless situation, no one is going to get you out of that hopeless situation apart from you. You think that the government is going to kuyamba you. Government will not kuyamba. Even no? If the government changes, if you don't want to get your mat and walk, you will remain poor and you remain in hopeless situation. So yes,
even our parents are not going to help us.
No, even by the way,
our brothers.
By the parents have done what they are doing what they can. If you go to a secondary school, and the parents will not be there for you to force you to go to preps, to read books, and because maybe your parents, you think that your parents have money, later you will regret because that money is not yours. Later you regret when the parents are all gone. You find you are like this boiler, this
broiler
chicken. You cannot do anything. They just put you there. You cannot even go to pick some meals to eat. So to you parents out there, I speak to you: stop raising a lazy generation. Stop giving everything. By the way, there is also this it's an illusion that we are rich. If you are only rich if you have a passive income, and that passive income should be so huge that even if you are not there for 50 years, that money keeps on coming. But there is an illusion that we parents have put in mind to our children that we have a lot of money, yet it is not there.
Until we go for DSTV.
DSTV, when there is this kind of lockdown, you find you are also among the people who are crying for kawunga, for kawunga and for what, and you tell, there is, I wrote on my Twitter recently, I was in a restaurant. Sabiiti. Okay. I was in a restaurant and I overheard a lady who was, I don't know whether lamenting or bragging that her children cannot buy anything that is not bought in a certain supermarket. They cannot eat anything that is not bought in a certain supermarket. Yeah. So pupils, students, youth out there, please pick your mat and walk. It's not Bobby Wine, it's not President Museveni, it's not Kano Chiza Besigye. Those guys have dared, have done great in their lives, and it is up to you to pick your mat and start daring and walk. Yeah.
So some may also just be waiting for Jesus, and he's coming soon. So what if I start working now and Jesus comes? You know?
Yeah, when he comes and he will say, "Well done, my good and faithful
servant." Yeah. Yes. Yes, for those joining us, this is Flourishing Hub, which is a show that airs every Monday from 8 to 9 p.m. It's a show centered around empowering young people through different conversations that help empower them, their mindsets, and just to prepare them for this world. It's a very tough global economy we are having, so you've got to really pull up your socks. And let's take a short break, and when we come back, we shall dive deeper into the topic of today, which is really about daring. See you later.
With 200 million people aged between 15 and 24, Africa has the youngest population in the world. This can either be an opportunity or a ticking time bomb. At Young and Flourishing Hub, we seek to turn these numbers into an opportunity for Africa to become a global leader. leader. Join us every Monday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. only on Church of Uganda Family TV, as we take you through the discussion of different topics that will enable you to become world-class leaders and mentors, grow your finances, and become world-class innovators. Young and flourishing, transforming Africa.
Thank you for staying tuned and really staying with us. This is Flourishing Hub, which is a show centered around empowering young people to be the best version of themselves, to flourish in today's global economy. Ibizibu out there, guys. Bizibu. Era watch the show every Monday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. So that you just enter the world like this and just conquer it. And now during our break, Herbert told me an interesting story that I felt he needs to share with you guys about him daring and telling his father, you know what, Daddy? Imagine, guys, after an expulsion, Satizad is like, let's talk man to man, to Gambi.
Not Gambo.
To Gambi. No, I needed you to tell us, because how do you tell an African parent? Let's talk man to man.
Yeah. While in senior four, they chased me out of St. Mary's College Shoroza, and you students out there, when you are in a group, you go on strike as a group, and you think that everything is done in a group. Yes. But when they chase you and you go to meet your parent, you find you are alone.
Reality hits.
Yeah, reality hits you, and you find you are alone. There was NASA in Cavalry. There was NASA in Cavalry where I forged the report. I forged the report when I was in senior 4, and I forged the report. I forged the bank slips, and my mzee got to know when he saw them. He knew that these were from NASA of Cavalry, NASA University of Cavalry, and he couldn't tell me, so he went to confirm at St. Mary's College Shoroza, and indeed they told him that they chased me out of school. When he came and told me, I said, Mfude. And of course he spoke very many words, and later I told him, you know what, let's talk man to man. Because you got to know when the third term of senior 4 was approaching, and I said, now I cannot go to look for school fees. I mean another school for me to go and study, because they suspended us up to go back to do exams, because we had already registered. So I told him, let's speak man to man.
And he didn't throw an umoja sapato.
Of course, when such a young man tells you that let's speak man to man, you get scared also. So sometimes these African parents, you need to scare them. Yeah. So I told him, now the future is in my hands. I've done this mistake, and please, I'm going to do anything possible to bring for you first grade. He said, how are you going to do it? Are you going to look for another school? I said, no, you just give me that money, the school fees you are going to pay, me I will pay, I will sell to her. So the plan was, I went near the school. We used to call it campsite, and we together with my friends whom they had chased, we rented some house. And we sat and agreed that they chased us because we are drinking alcohol. They chased us because we were unserious. Let's now be serious. Let's now be opposite. And we chose leaders, and we are so serious. The time the people would go to class, we would also go to our own class. We read and discuss to the extent that we would actually, whenever we would get tired, you know that radio cascade. Where you used to have those tapes that you can record. So whenever I would get tired, I would play and record. Then I read the book and I record it. Then when I feel like I'm not reading, I play the recorded message, then I hear. So we perform, I mean, we are so determined, and by the way, they chased us when we were 8 in number, and out of 8, 7 of us got the first grade, because we did self-leadership, and we discovered our mistakes, and we said, no, the future is in our hands.
Yeah.
And by the way, all those people whom they chased, my friends are out there flourishing. I can even bring them to you, and you see the money. So they have money. They are big boys.
They're big boys.
They are big boys.
You bring them out to chill with them.
Because we did what we call leadership. So that's part of the daring I made.
Wow. So I think people out there also should realize that, you know what, we make mistakes.
Yeah.
You know, maybe you're watching us today and you were expelled, or you were suspended, or they called your parents. They said, you know what, come with your parents. So it's okay. These things happen, just like he has said. But what matters is you need to own up. You need to take responsibility for your actions. You need to own them, and you need to step up and do better. Do better for yourself, because you know what, tomorrow your parent is not there. You are not studying that degree for your parent. No, it's for you. So step up, own your mistake, say, you know what, chabadeo. We're not going to cry over spilled milk, but we can do better. So do better. Herbert, also about daring. You've ever left a job and started a business? Wow, that was a dare. You know there is a way a job gives you security. So for you to give that up, to enter into the unknown, tell us about that. It must have been, a bit. You even said, yes.
Doreen, it was tough. I made what we call a radical decision that only mad people can make. Sometimes you need to be mad to make such a kind of decisions where you test the depths of water with both feet. So that's what I did. When I was in my senior 6, I promised myself, and also even spoke to my friends, that at age 30 years I was going to own my own company, to start a business, a very big company. I was ambitious. Now it clocked 30, I forgot. It clocked 32, I remembered that I promised myself, and I was not ready. And by the way, I have over time realized, when someone asks me, when can I be ready to start a business, to get out of employment and start, I do self-employment or start a business or an investment, my answer is that you will never be ready. So at 32 years, I was not ready, but I said, I am 2 years short of my promise. Well, by the way, for me, whenever I make my promise, my own promise, I have to make sure that I fulfill it. So I did that, and I resigned when I was not ready. First of all, Doreen, I had only 700,000 on my account, and I had a loan in DFCU Bank of 5 million. I was doing MBA. And I was in first year MBA. So I was really not ready. And I remember actually the first lesson in MBA, a lecturer told us that if you want to finish this MBA, you are in a certain employment, remain in that employment. Don't change employment, otherwise you will never leave. You will never finish this MBA. I said, for you are joking.
You wait to me.
I dared, and I resigned. Now I'm sounding like a motivational speaker. 700,000. I was doing MBA and starting a business and non-venture, and you reach out there, you don't know any client, you don't know who will come to office. That was daring. But let me tell you, me and my family, we suffered.
It was not a silver lining for you.
No, it was not, and it will never. Anything that is, if you want to get God, you will not just get it on the surface. Yeah, you.
I mean, I can't just go to the market.
You cannot just get gold.
Turn of turn.
It's anything expensive. There's a price to pay. So me and my family, we paid the price, including getting out of our comfort here, rent a rental place, and go to where we could afford, and sometimes the public would laugh at you. By the way, let me tell you, when you have money, you have friends. When you don't have money, friends reduce, and those special friends remain in your life. Of course, there are some special friends who remained in my life and supported me. And yeah, here we have with very many businesses I'm running and thinking of starting together with you people who are watching me, our own African Youth Development Bank and very big corporations. So I thank God that He has given me that spirit of daring, and I call upon to each one of us who are watching me that sometimes you need to make radical decisions. Sometimes you need to be mad. One of my friends and relatives were saying that now you have become religious, fanatic, something like that, because how could you make such a kind of decision? A sane man can't do such a kind of decisions. So sometimes you need to do a radical decision. But let me warn you, it's not easy. They normally when you hear someone speak, it's like when you start a business, it's just as easy as you speak it. Even when you go to conferences and workshops, you can start anything, you can start small. But my friend, when you reach there and you start like this, the reality hits you. Like even your friends cannot be your customers. They start shunning you. The people you would think that really this person is going to support me, they cannot be your customer. By the way, let me ask you guys, why can't you support your own?
Yes.
Are you jealous? Or I don't know, why can't you support your own? Let's always support. Let's be boo-boo. Is it boo-boo?
Yeah, boo-boo.
Yes. Actually, I've been, I write in weekly articles. It's called My Weekend Insights. I was writing about how we need to jealously protect our own enterprises, because I just remembered how WBS, the TV I loved most, and because of the generation soaps, how it just died because of 7.2 billion tax areas. Now when they close it, they get the money. So I think we need to, as Ugandans and also as Africans, even the policymakers, we need to see how we can support our own enterprises, our own local industries, so that because like now the businesses I have, we have together with my business partner, we are employing people who are paying taxes, we are employing people who have families, and a taxman or someone from, by the way, let me tell you, whether in public or private enterprises, you find there are those people, those managers, those bosses who just click and they remove you. You are no longer our service provider. Because maybe that person has never started a business. They don't know what it means to lose a business. Like you are depending on a certain company, and tomorrow you see you are no longer a service provider, and without no reason. I have seen it in our company, and I have seen it with other my friends, my business partners, and those who are doing service out there. I have also seen that there are some people we are competing. We are like orphans in our own country. We are like orphans in our own country where you are competing with foreign companies, investors who have tax holidays, and for you, it's like it is easier to swim in a lake infested with crocodiles.
That's the part where you say government
It's better to swim in a lake infested with crocodile than getting a tax holiday when you are a local. I can say it again, when you are a local company, to get a tax holiday, it's very, very hard, and you are competing. The interest rates, those foreign firms that are operating in Africa, they are given those foreign governments and maybe banks, they are given low interest money, and they come and they out compete us here. So that's why all my passion, all what I'm doing, I think that it's time now for us. I also put myself in the youth bracket. It's time for us Africans to cause a socio-economic revolution. Let's pick our mats and let's support one another. Let's do businesses. Let's do businesses. If we die, we die. Let's. I don't know how I should tell you people. We need to dare. We need to dare innovate. We need to dare stop watching. Stop wasting time on Facebook, on Twitter. Go to Twitter doing business. Go to Facebook doing business, looking for clients. Don't just go there to just unfortunately statistics, research show that African people who waste time on Twitter, they waste to discussing less important issues on social media. Why can't we use the social media to network and look for clients? Why can't we use the Google to research and do something? Okay, if you can't dare, you just dare to change your mind.
Either way, you're daring.
Dare to change your mind. That's what I can say, Doreen.
Wow. I had a lot of, every business, there is a process.
Yeah.
There is a process. I mean, there was a point you left your home, you had to shift to a less comfortable home with your family.
Yes.
But right now you have your own home.
Yes.
So there are processes to these things. So as young people, don't worry if you've started on things you feel like you need some jump starting, things are not working. Like, it's okay. There is a process. Trust the process. People who wake up today and they are rich, such people, there are question marks to how, where, how, when. But, just know there is a process. And also, through tough times, you get to know your people. This is Flourishing Hub, which is a show that happens every Monday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. On this show, we have discussions that we hope can impact your life, that we hope can educate you, that we hope will leave you different. And you join us on the quest to transforming Africa. So Herbert, as someone who left his business, his job, his 9 to 5 and started a business, what are the do's and don'ts for our businesses? Tell our people out there who feel like, I want to start a business, but like, what are some of the things you feel they must know? The do's and the don'ts.
Someone recently, and I know is watching me, he sent me a message. Dear chairman, he calls me chairman because I'm chairman of Pickers.
What's the word PK?
Pickers are pastors' children.
Pastors' children or pastors' kids?
Pastors' kids and stroke children. Dear chairman, I am employed and I can access salary loan of 5 million. That's how the message, I'm reading the message. Don't mind, I will not reveal the person, I will not reveal you. So he asked me, what can I do with that 5 million so that I can do business and be able to pay back the loan in 1.5 years. So I asked myself, this man wants to get the loan to do business, he doesn't know Maybe I should ask him to give me the money and I chew it. Yeah, how can you get a loan to start a business you don't know? First of all, it's not advisable to get a loan to start a business. You only should get a loan when you have already started.
You've seen the progress.
You have seen the progress. Otherwise, for example, at Region Uganda, we have made 10 years in the market, and we still feel like we are on foundation. But now someone wants to get a loan of 5 million, start a business, and be able to pay in 1.5 years. By the way, up to now, there is a price we are paying as founders of Region in Uganda. Sometimes you find you don't have enough money to pay workers. You even forfeit your entitlement so that your workers can enjoy. So if you start a business with that mind that you want to get money very fast, very quick, first of all, you are going to get into quick rich scheme. They are going to steal your money for no good reason. That's number one. Number two, you are going to close the business very fast. You are going to close the business very fast before you reach the goal. You are digging and you are almost reaching the goal and you close the business. So you have to be patient. You have to have passion for what you are going to do. Otherwise, even passion, by the way, that passion can be developed. It can be developed. You can say, I am going to focus on this business, and I'm going to make sure that this business will grow. If I die, let me focus on this business. The challenge.
You like to die. Every time I die.
The challenge is that sometimes we start a business.
Yes.
I've never been pregnant, but at least my wife has been pregnant in my presence. A child, a mother conceives a baby, and you know that process of 9 months of not eating, of eating soil, and then you give birth to a child, and then you hand over the child to someone who has never given birth.
Yeah.
That person, that child can either get kwashiorkor, can get pneumonia, because that person who has never given birth doesn't know how to take care of this baby. Same as business. You get your 30 million capital and you put it out there in the business and you hand it over someone who has never given, maybe to a relative, or you get someone from the village and you say, you come and be handling my business, and you continue with your employment, and at the end of the day you find that 30 million has gone.
So I'm hearing one, know exactly what you want to do, what business you want to do. Two, don't get a loan to start a business, because you need to first learn what's how the business works, the ups and downs of the business. Three, have a passion, and also passion can be created.
Yes.
Yes.
Then I also mentioned about don't give business to someone who doesn't know how to run the business.
Okay, so
because maybe someone who has no experience, has no expertise, and you hand over the business to him or her, so they will not manage that business.
Yeah. And
that's why I normally tell people that we should avoid that mentality, the side business mentality, and that side hustle mentality. If it is business, it is business. Don't call it side business. Whether you have it and you have a job somewhere, they are all businesses. Call them business, not side business. Because side business is the way you can have side dish. Side dish, I mean the one for food. Side dish, I mean the one for food. You can have a side dish, and that side dish you can decide to eat it or you leave it. But your focus is on the main. So let everything be the main, no side dishes. Thank you.
What about people who actually start a business and give it to their relatives to run? I think that falls in the same category.
That falls in the same category. I did that and I know what it means.
Yes.
I think last week I mentioned it. I said that when that person mismanages, you will not take them to Zira. Because when you take them to Zira, the whole clan will be against you. You have become rich, now you are harassing our relatives. So
good.
yeah, I don't advise you unless that person has an expert and experience and you agree on the terms and the job description and you know that you are going to do A, B, C, D. So I would advise, but like in our company policy, we don't employ relatives. That's what we agreed.
All right. Thank you, Herbert. Thank you for always sparing time to talk to us. I think also it's important when you're starting a business, just first be in the business because it's yours.
Yeah.
It's you who knows how the money, where you got the money. You know, it's you who loves the business. So first be there, create systems.
It's you who go to the labor pains.
The labor pains, you know. First baby your baby. First breastfeed your baby. First take care of your baby. Don't give birth and then you just give someone else. You know, they don't know the pain you went through.
Yeah, sure.
So first grow it to a certain point and then you can pass it on to a relative. To someone else to run it when there are already systems in place, there are cultures in place, you know, there are policies in place. Don't just get your money and just, Yes. Thank you for tuning in. This is Flourishing Hub, which is a show really centered around empowering young people with the right mindset, with different attitudes, with positive attitudes to thrive in today's economy. I'm Doreen Buchanan, your host, every Monday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Thank you. See you on Monday.